From my perspective as a historian, probably the most important contribution of these folks, the Abbasids, is what they call the House of Wisdom. It is a library, translation institute, and research center in Baghdad that was founded in the 9th century, so the 800s. And by the second half of that century, it was the greatest book repository in the entire world. The Caliph sent scholars all over the world to get copies of important texts, and for a century and a half, Arab scholars translated every single scientific and philosophical text that they could get. Things that relate to agriculture to improve their growing, things that relate to architecture to think about their building, things that relate to all sorts of religious and philosophical ideas that we've engaged in this class, things related to military, whatever it is. They also themselves make huge contributions to cartography, map development, right, creating some of the most accurate maps of the world known up until that point, to math. So all of these things kind of point to the idea that knowledge is power. The Abbasid Caliphs recognize that, and they attempt to sustain their empire by bringing in all the knowledge of the world. They have tons of contact with India, with Chinese empires. They adopt things like papermaking from China in the 8th century, which then gets to Spain and the rest of the Europe by the 10th century. They adopt and spread Arabic numerals, which for the first time brings in the number 0, which makes math a heck of a lot easier. By 900, this dynasty begins to falter. There are a lot of disputes over succession. That weakens the authority of the caliphs. It also allows people on the periphery, the provincial governors, to gain more power themselves. By 1055, Seljuk Turks, who are nomads from Central Asia, take possession of the capital, Baghdad. The Seljuk Sultan, ruler, leaves the Abbasids on the throne kind of as figureheads, but really controls things behind the scene. Eventually Syria, Palestine, Asia Minor come under control of these Turkic people. And by 1258, Mongols come in and destroy the remnants of this empire. So if we step back and we think about the overall legacy here, we can think about the central ideas of Islam, how they guide people, how they might be compared to other folks. We can think about the changing spread of empires and ideas related to administration as the empire is small and gets larger and comes in contact with different groups of people. We can think about evolving ideas of what it means to be a member of the Islamic civilization. And if we step back, we can really do lots of comparison in terms of using religion as government, in terms of employing different groups of people, in terms of adopting other ideas, and compare this civilization to people we have seen so far. So thanks for watching along this time.